welcome to BonVoyageTV. I'm Jared from Bon Voyage Cruises and Travel, and I'm joined as usual by Olivia. Hi, Olivia.
Hi.
We've had a couple of weeks off. You may have noticed, you may not have, but we have had a couple of weeks off, and Olivia's been away. Where have you been, Olivia?
I took my own little mini retreat to Whangamata. We've got a beautiful house there, and so I just decided I needed some time out, and I did lots of yoga and meditation and relaxation and
Eating?
oh, beautiful foods, just really healthy. You know, I just took some time to just nourish myself and refuel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And tell us, what retreating things did you do?
So I was up at sunrise every single morning doing yoga, and then I would follow that by a beautiful healthy breakfast, and then I'd do some reading, usually on yoga or on some sort of spiritual practice, and then I would do meditation. I'd maybe go for a run through the bush, do some more yoga, hang out with my sister. She was there with me as well, recovering from some surgery.
Okay. Good. So we have some photos here.
Oh, yes.
Yet again, I've stolen off Facebook. So.
Yeah, I think I may have dragged my sister out with me a couple of times on sunrise to take some pictures, because we need these for social media and whatnot.
You do?
Yes.
I love that, because Olivia's totally at peace with herself, being a yogini, and totally at peace and can just relate to herself, but I need photos of it. Can someone come take the photos?
Totally ridding myself of materialistic things, but I need photos. I need proof.
But it is your business. Olivia has a company called Enrich Therapeutic Massage, and of course she needs that purely for work purposes.
Yeah, of course. God, you've got to get the clients in, you've got to advertise, yeah.
And I think you had good weather, you were lucky.
Oh, it was absolutely stunning. We had one crazy day that I think it rained up here, there was weather warnings, and it was bucketing down and it was windy for just about a period of an hour, and at that point sirens went off in Whangamata, and so my sister and I were scrambling around going, what does that mean, what does that mean? It must mean a tsunami is coming, obviously, that's what it means. And we were Googling it. Turns out it was the fire station putting their siren on to bring in the volunteers, because there must have been flooding.
Fire brigade.
Yeah, well, I didn't know.
Oh dear.
So yeah, so there would have been flooding or trees down or something like that. So it was pretty full on, but then that passed and that afternoon was absolutely stunning. So yeah, we were really, really lucky with the weather.
So all the good you did getting at peace with yourself was ruined by a fire station.
No,
siren.
I actually love that sort of weather. I love that sort of excitement. I find it really energizing actually, especially when there's a lot of wind involved.
Wind. So it was mung beans and lentils. And
Yeah, classic. Walked into that one.
you did.
No, but it was really lovely, and now I've come back refreshed and better able to look after my clients as well, because a lot of energy goes into what I do with massage therapy and yoga therapy and that sort of thing. So you need to be able to go back and refresh and yeah.
Well, that's good, and you've come back, and it's, we were talking about it a little bit earlier, the days are starting to get a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty cold. We've still got a few months of winter to go, and people are still looking for lovely holidays.
Yes.
We're seeing lots and lots of people away from our agency to Rarotonga, Fiji, Hawaii.
Yeah, it's just nice to break it up a little bit, get some sunshine.
But speaking of hot, I do have to just sort of break into this. We've got one airfare I've seen come across my desk, which is particularly good because we don't often get them this low. But our friends at Air Tahiti Nui have a wonderful airfare of only $1,249 to Los Angeles.
Wow.
Via Tahiti, so you can stop over and have a nice holiday in Tahiti. It includes the taxes and fuel and all of that. Now this fare is only $1,249. It's not, unfortunately, for this winter, but it's such a good fare I have to tell people. It's for travel between 17th of January and 31st of March next year.
So when it comes around to that time of the year next year, they definitely won't be regretting that they've booked that in advance, will they?
No, it's a very good deal with the little bonus, particularly if they're going in the May time. It'll be starting to get cold here again.
Yes.
And they can stop over in Tahiti on the way back or on the way there.
Yeah, extend their little summer a little bit longer.
Rather nice. So I just thought I'd get that in while we were going.
Absolutely.
But we're going to talk a little bit more about lovely holidays, particularly in the South Pacific, in a few minutes after the break.
Earthlings, you are not alone. freely among you. Extraordinary beings from a place like no place on earth. We come from worlds called Dawn, Jewel, Pearl, Eden, and Aria. And we're free in ways you earthlings dream of. Free from the serious, the mundane. Free from time, routine, embarrassment. We do as we please, when we please. We are the Cruiselings. Be free, Earthlings.
Welcome back. Earlier we were talking about starting to think about holidays for next year, and we have P&O. We've discussed briefly in previous shows. P&O is a historic cruise line, but very modern at the same time. From November this year, we'll have 5 ships based in New Zealand and Australia.
Wow.
So Sydney and Brisbane and Auckland are the main hubs. And they're going to go into Melbourne and Perth and base ships out of there temporarily. Wonderful. So they're getting 2 new ships out of Holland America Line, which is the sister company. They're refurbishing them, Australianising, they call it, and then when they talk to us, they call it Australasianising. Yeah. So they're new features suitable for New Zealanders and Australians. So they're going to have 5 ships. That means that in February next year, we're going to get a ship, the Pacific Pearl, based out of Auckland right through to June. Wonderful. So that's going to do 18 cruises. Now, some of you may remember Pacific Pearl was renamed in Auckland a couple of years ago. And our very own Barbara Kendall is the godmother of the ship. So if she was around a few years ago when the ship was first launched, she would have launched it with a bottle of champagne. Yeah, yeah. But they had a renaming ceremony in Auckland a couple of years ago. And you can see here, there's Barbara Kendall. And she is the godmother of the ship officially, and this ship is known as Auckland's ship. Wonderful. We haven't had it here often enough or long enough, but next year we've got it for 18 cruises. And we have discussed, haven't we, that we're going to send you on one of these cruises. Yes, yes. And I will create a little retreat on board, hopefully. The cruises are from 3 days right through to 15 days, but there's one cruise I picked out that I thought would be perfect for Olivia, and that is a cruise going from Auckland to Napier and back. So what my plan is, I don't know if we're getting Olivia on board with us, but the idea is that Olivia will lead our cruise, and you will offer sunrise yoga. Does that sound sensible? Yes, still all to be put in place exactly, but definitely sunrise yoga and some workshops possibly. So actually delving deeper into the yoga and the massage side of things. So you're not just, you know, being led a class, you can have, you know, be led anywhere. So actually, you know, working on specific topics and working with individuals quite specifically. So it's a real, you know, a time of growth and expansion for each individual. Okay, now this is a 4-night cruise, so you'll have 1 day in Napier, and we'll have to select a wine tour or something for you to take people out on. Yeah, absolutely, wine is healthy. But also the interesting thing to me is that on a cruise like this, you can actually have a retreat within your holiday. And the ship's big enough for us to be able to do this. You'll be able to select a spot on deck. There are not many people up and about at sunrise on a cruise ship. Exactly, so hopefully it'll be nice and peaceful. There'll be some people walking and there's some people jogging, and occasionally there's people just finishing at the nightclub. If you're up early enough. But if you're with Olivia, you're likely to be getting up around sunrise to have some yoga on deck. But it's just great that you can have a retreat within the holiday. I think it's... Yeah, yeah, and you know, and it's all about the journey. So this journeying into your health and your wellness, it just fits perfectly because you are, you know, you're on the journey on the yacht as opposed to thinking about the destination and where you're going to be. It's the whole process, you know. There's also a neat way to look at it is that you're on the water and it's about finding balance, which is really cool. I mean, I used to teach yoga on yachts, so I would teach private one-on-one clients.
and it was really interesting to work with the movement of the water. Not that there was a lot, but to do balancing poses and those sorts of things and meditate around creating balance in your world when, you know, things are a little bit rocky. So there's a lot of really neat things to work with when you're on the water. And plus you're just surrounded by blue ocean, and it's expansive and it's freeing. It's a really, really wonderful, yeah.
So we know that most cruise ships have good spas, and I have experienced the spa on the Pacific Pearl. A lovely massage there one time.
Yeah.
I've also been to the beauty salon and had a haircut. So quite unusual getting your haircut and you're sailing along the ocean and you're looking out and seeing the waves. It's different experience.
It is.
But the massage and the spa facilities, there's sauna, obviously spa pools.
And they have fantastic facilities, don't they?
They do.
They do.
So we will be block booking some of these for Olivia's clients. And so we can guarantee people get on board. So we have basically there's, from Auckland, there's a day's sailing down to Napier and a day's sailing back. So plenty of time for that activity, plus the massages and things you will lead. And then lots of options for food.
Yes.
You can eat healthily.
Yes, well, we must be eating healthily on a retreat such as that. But it is nice to have the options. I mean, a lot of retreats that you have, you go somewhere and you can only eat vegan or you can only eat raw and you're not allowed a glass of wine and those sorts of things. And it's important to do things that feed the soul as well in terms of really enjoying every experience.
So that is good balance.
It is. It's all about balance, exactly.
So if you're interested, we are just pricing this all up and getting things arranged with P&O, but just so you know, mark it in your calendar, the 4th of February next year. And if you're interested, let us know. Email us at BonVoyage Cruises and Travel, and we will mark your name down, and when we've got it all arranged, we will let you know. But 4th of February next year is when you're going.
Yay.
Good.
Very excited.
We also have 17 other cruises that are heading around the South Pacific. There's a really good one, which is nearly full on the 1st of March, which is a 10-night Auckland back to Auckland cruise that only goes around New Zealand. So it's just New Zealand ports.
That'd be amazing.
Very unusual, because most of these cruises, when you do a New Zealand cruise, you'll end up in Australia or start in Australia and come back. So that cruise is nearly full, but there are a lot of other options to the South Pacific.
Okay, and I see on this list that one of the cruises is going to Lifu. Whereabouts is this, and what is it like?
Lifu is in the Loyalty Islands, which is actually part of New Caledonia. And with the Isle of Pines, Lifu, Mare, there's quite a few islands off the main island of New Caledonia. And some people sort of say Noumea, it's a bit, boring. It's
Who says that?
no, so our clients do, but I actually quite like it. It's basically a French town in the South Pacific. And it's very much like some of the French villages on the Mediterranean coast. Similar sort of laid back, looks a bit sleepy, a little bit run down.
Yeah.
But if you get out and about, last 2 times I've been there, my son and I have got bicycles and ridden right round out to where Club Med used to be on Onsafata Beach. And that's a really nice ride. You stop at a boulangerie.
Yeah, beautiful. Have your
some
croissant.
coffee. So there's a lot to do just in that area. We went to the cultural, I won't try and pronounce this, but the cultural centre there, and that was really for us just sort of something to fill in the day. But for all 4 of us, that actually captivated us. It was outstanding.
Yeah.
And my boys aren't really into culture and history of the South Pacific particularly, but
they loved it.
That was really good.
Yeah.
But in Lifu itself, you walk up the little road and down to the other side there is a stunning snorkeling area.
Oh, lovely.
And you can only get down to it by climbing down a little ladder, and it's just outstanding. You're down there and it's all rock formations. Wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, and the best thing about these cruises is that you can island hop a little bit, can't you?
You can. Some people, that's enough for them, going a bit of snorkeling and go back to the ship. Well, you can go back for lunch.
Yeah.
If you want to come back, you can come back by tender boat again. We walked up to a little church an abandoned church right on the cliff, and the views up there were just stunning. It was hot as anything.
Yeah.
But it was worth doing. And then later in the afternoon, the boys did go back to the ship. Michelle and I went and hired some bicycles and actually went to a funeral.
Oh, really?
We didn't know about it. We cycled around to another little village, another church, and cycled right into a funeral unbeknown to us. The locals were very generous, and sort of we backed out and went away.
That's so lovely. Get to see a little bit of traditional
But
culture
a lady
there.
did come over and explain what was going on, what was doing. So that, while it was a bit of a strange experience, it was quite enriching because we'd gone a little bit further than most passengers had gone.
Yeah.
And we'd really experienced something of the local culture.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So each of those islands in the South Pacific is quite different. Of all the ones I've been to, there's no two that are the same.
Yeah.
And just a great day. You get back to your ship, you're back into the luxury of your own cabin.
Yeah.
Shower, change.
And that's the benefit of it as well, isn't it? Is that, if you were actually staying on some of those islands, you might be, I'm not sure, there might be some luxurious accommodation there as well, but, you don't have to fight to find accommodation for the night and sleep in a little bungalow. You get to go back to your luxurious cabin on the ship and have all the food choices in the world and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But even on some of those islands, there are a lot of people all getting off the ship at the same time. So at the start, there's sort of hundreds of people on one little beach, but it's amazing how people dissipate.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they all disappear. And if you go a little bit further, you can be the only person on that beach or on that road walking along or riding along, and it's a true South Pacific experience.
Yeah. Lovely.
But we have come back to the ship and dining.
Yes. Tell us about it.
I will.
What?
I will. There are lots of dining options. There is, of course, the buffet that people all talk about, and some people do really get into their buffets. But I tend to eat at the main restaurant because it's all a la carte service.
Yep.
So you get exactly what you want. You can go at set times, so you can have an early or a late dining if you prefer. And that guarantees you'll get at the same table with the same people if you want to share with other people, the same waiters.
Yep.
And that's quite fun because you get to know a couple of good waiters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've actually been on Pacific Pearl a couple of times, had the same waiters both times, and recommended to friends that have been that they get these same two guys.
Yeah.
And it's, it becomes a little community.
Family.
And people come back from their cruise and they talk about not necessarily just the cruise experience of where they've been, but quite often it'll be about who the table waiters were, the maitre d', head chef, and the wine waiters and all that. That really adds to the whole experience.
Oh, absolutely. That's life, isn't it? It's all about people, the people you meet, the connections you make.
And some of these people are really outstanding entertainers. So our two waiters end up doing, because the first time we went on, our boys were 13 and 14, I think, thinking they're big teenagers, but our waiters came along and did magic tricks every night.
Oh, cool.
And it turned our little boys into little boys again.
That's really neat.
It was quite neat. But if you want to be more sophisticated, they have within the main waterfront restaurant, there is a chef's table, which takes about 12 people. And you pay a little bit extra for it, but they will do a full chef's degustation menu.
Lovely.
And so the head chef and the head sommelier will come and introduce the whole meal, wine matching.
Oh,
I think that one's about $90 if you want to do that.
That's actually pretty good for a full degustation.
It's really good value.
Yeah.
Up on the top deck, there's a restaurant called Salt Grill, which is by Luke Mangan, who Australians particularly know. He's quite well known here as well, I think, but he is a celebrity type chef in Australia, and he has some very well known restaurants, and on all of the 5 P&O ships he has a specialty restaurant. You pay about $40 Australian above your cruise fare, but you are in full fine dining experience.
Wow, and that's just nothing. God, you can only get a pizza for $40 these days.
Olivia does live in Ponsonby.
Exactly.
But one thing I have to say, if you do go to Salt Grill on Pacific Pearl, ask for the licorice ice cream dessert.
Nice. Licorice. You said licorice.
It's licorice, isn't it?
It's licorice.
Okay. All right, fussy. We'll be back in a moment when we've worked out whether it's licorice or licorice, and Olivia has composed herself after the break.
Ed and Vivo, we've got the biggest crush on Graham Norton. So we flew all the way to his place so he could have a crush on us. Graham Norton's own Sauvignon Blanc. Southern Hemisphere grapes meet Northern Hemisphere fab.
welcome back. We're talking about P&O and their Pacific Pearl cruises out of Auckland from February to June.
So we've talked about restaurants and food and spas. So can you tell us a little bit about the entertainment on board?
There's all sorts. As you know, people who have cruised or perhaps heard of cruising, they've perhaps heard of the main show after dinner every night. They'll be anything from musicals. They have full Broadway style shows.
Wow.
There will be variety shows. They often have a comedian on board or two.
Oh, cool.
So they'll do stand-up comedy. There are some, next year there is a 3-night comedy cruise if you're really into comedy. They'll have some of New Zealand and Australia's best comedians.
Yeah, oh, that'd be awesome.
They also have a nightclub, of course, and one of my favourites was a jazz pianist, a Jamaican guy, and he just played up in one of the small bars, started about 10 and went till really the last person who was being entertained wanted to go to bed. So one night I was there till 2:30 in the morning and he just kept playing.
Oh, amazing.
And another guy who was one of the musicians from one of the other bands came up and they would just basically have a jam and play whatever people wanted to play and they'd have a lot of fun with it. It was someone to get up and sing. So
cool.
Late night stuff, the entertainers just come and do their own thing. It's really good.
Yeah, that's really neat.
There's all sorts of other activities on board. One of my favourites was the cocktail making class.
Oh, neat. That would
But
be
I would
very
seriously
cool.
recommend that if you are going to the cocktail making class, which is in the afternoon, that you do have a good lunch first. Don't go on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
Serious
You're
activity.
Speaking from experience.
Yes. There's all sorts of other things. There are sports quizzes, there's normal quizzes, there's bingo is always big on the ships, and it sounds like a really old school entertainment. But the bingo prize by the end of the cruise can get up to $2,000 or $3,000.
Oh yeah, and it's always fun when you get involved.
People
even,
get very serious.
Yeah, very competitive.
So next year, Pacific Pearl is here from February to June. There are 18 cruises in all. They are all on sale at the moment. Fantastic fares. We have some which have onboard spending credits, so we'll give you some money to spend. So have a look at our website, bonvoyage.co.nz. Give us a call and we'll tell you all about it. And if you're interested in going on Olivia's cruise, which is health and fitness and yoga and having a good time, let us know and we'll let you know when we've got all the details of Olivia's cruise as well.
So my cruise, though, is going to be the best out of all of them, obviously. It's going to be fabulous. Not only will you be able to experience the travel and all that goes with it, but you'll be feeling amazing and healthy, and it'll get the ball rolling for your health and well-being, you know,
all of 2016.
onwards. It will. It makes a huge difference. I mean, this little trip that I just had in Whangamata has really set the tone for me to carry on as well. You know, you just keep going with the nutrition and the exercise, and it'll be amazing.
So there you are. Olivia's recharged after Whangamata, and you can all get recharged in February with Olivia.
Yes, do it.
Right, moving on, Olivia. Do you have any news for us today?
Yes, I do. Talking about materialistic things. The world's first robot hotel has opened its doors. The 5-star Japanese Henna Hotel, which translates as the Strange Hotel, located at Hui Tenbosch, a theme park in Nagasaki Prefecture.
And guess what the theme of that theme park is?
Strange stuff.
Very strange stuff. The theme park is all about the Netherlands.
Okay.
Seriously. Only in Japan they have a theme park which pays homage to the Netherlands and everything Dutch, with windmills and all the foods, and
Right.
I presume it's a flat part of Nagasaki.
Yeah.
It is a Dutch-related theme park.
Classic.
So I chose that especially for you.
It. Yeah.
So tell us about the hotel.
So, it is home to humanoid robots which greet Japanese-speaking guests at reception, while English-speaking guests are greeted by a robotic dinosaur.
This is just so Japanese and so weird.
It seems like a little stab. More functional droids are on hand to cart luggage to the hotel's 72 rooms. Rates are from around $80 US with a maximum of around $130 US depending on demand. So that's pretty cheap, really.
Pretty good value.
Yeah. There are no keys, Doors open with facial recognition technology. Whoa, it's a little bit sci-fi. There's no aircon. The room detects your body heat and adjusts the temperature automatically, which we were talking about would not really, how would that work if you've got a few different people with different body temperatures? Like you're always hot, I'm always freezing cold.
Yeah, air conditioning should be on and off, it'd be hopeless.
I think it would, yeah.
You'll have to travel on your own.
Short out. When the hotel was first announced, the president was quoted as saying he hoped robots would eventually run 90% of the property and that he hoped to build a further 1,000 similar hotels in the world.
Yeah. The man's a bit of a dreamer, but he did get one robotic hotel built, so it'll be interesting just to see how it goes. And
it would be really interesting.
If and when I get back to Japan, I will go and see this Dutch theme park and see what it's like. Back to reality, as you know, on the last show we talked about cliched travel photos, and we asked people to send them in. Well, we got a few.
Cool.
So I've chosen a couple. Carol Brown from Northcote Point sent us this picture of a sculpture which is on the cliffs around Bondi in Sydney. It's called Look This Way. Yeah, it's a fairly spooky looking sculpture.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so
he was a really patient man, sitting and waiting.
Waiting for his wife shopping, no doubt. So Carol, we've sent a few key rings out, but Carol, we're sending you a Bon Voyage key ring. But Margaret Pryor from Stanmore Bay, because we were talking about Tunisia in the last show.
Yeah.
She sent us a photo a few years ago, Margaret, wasn't it? 1985. So
yeah, it's a lovely photo.
it's a photo of Margaret on the camel in Tunisia.
Yeah.
So Margaret...
she's having a great time.
And she wins our Voyager luggage suitcase.
Ah, amazing.
So Margaret told me that after watching our show when we interviewed John Paul on the Celebrity Solstice, her and her husband have booked on the Celebrity Solstice.
Yep.
And going on a cruise. So
fantastic.
well done, Margaret. You'll be able to take our luggage with you. But I thought I would just take this quick opportunity of bringing a couple of my travel photos. I was down in Wellington a couple of weeks ago and went to Te Papa and saw the exhibitions. But I like a city council with a sense of humour. Len, a council with a sense of humour, Len. But I love this sign. As you can see, a sign written for dogs.
Yeah.
Classic. And also, I couldn't resist, but cliche travel photos. My wife accuses me of having 5,000 photos of sunsets. This is my favourite of all times.
It's very beautiful.
That's at Kahala Beach in Hawaii. It's actually a sunrise.
Ah, okay.
So I like that one. I just thought I'd show you because I like showing off my photos.
It's very nice.
So with that, we are running out of time.
Okay.
So we've got to go away and plan Olivia's cruise properly.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that in coming weeks.
Yes.
So Olivia, until then, we better say goodbye to all the people.
Okay.
Bon voyage!
Bon voyage.